Hello, hello, and welcome to the P.O.V Podcast. I am here with a special guest that I will introduce at a later time. But I want y'all to know that, we are in Autism Awareness Month. We've been in it all April. But autism awareness is not just for the month of April, but it is all year long. And we don't have a lot of representations for this, and especially in our community. And so I have a special guest here with me who is a proud, as she say, autism mom of a 4-year-old autistic boy. And we're gonna introduce her right now. Welcome for the first time, Miss Crystal
Hi.
Jordan. Put your hands together for her, y'all. And
Hi,
again,
everybody.
yes. And I'm so glad that you are we finally got to do it because we've been trying to do this for a while. And so scheduling and planning,
Yes, we have.
you've been busy. You've been
I
busy.
mean, it's April, it's Autism Awareness Month, and then I'm working on my coloring book, which we get into. Well,
Yeah.
I'm launching my coloring book, and I just announced my children's book.
Yeah.
So I've been busy. So I've been trying to focus and grind out and put out something positive into the universe and to the world
Hmm.
that I feel like the world needs versus me posting about, drama or
Right.
me having a bad day. Why not post positivity or me try to educate my people, especially like I say, when I say my people, I mean my Black people about
Yes.
autism because people look at autism and they don't know what it is. They don't even know where to start. They don't even like, and that was me. But like you said, my name's Crystal Jordan. My son was diagnosed when he was 2 in
Hmm.
2019. He was diagnosed with autism. And ever since he was diagnosed, I just became his voice. I became his advocate and I just hit the ground running. Like that next week I started calling. I'm gonna say this with love and respect to anybody who's watching. I am pro ABA. I know in the community, and I know I'm an advocate. I have now have friends on the spectrum who are adults. I am fully aware that everybody on the spectrum do not like ABA or do not support ABA,
Explain
but
what
I'm
that
going to be
is for
very
people that don't know.
okay. ABA is applied behavior therapy. They use data to like pretty much go over things like I'm neurotypical and neurotypical means normal. So pretty much ABA helps you in certain areas. You have goals, just like an IEP, you have goals. And for my son goals, my goals is for him to be independent. So my goals are a little bit more different from other parents. Because I just did an interview last week and I found out some parents' goals are for their kids to be normal. Well, I'm not using ABA to make my kid society standard or normal or neurotypical because he have autism. He's autistic. So I'm going to acknowledge that. I'm not going to worry about his stemming. If his stemming is what is stemming, stemming is when they keep doing
Right.
something repetitive,
Mm.
like like this. This is stemming. If you see somebody jumping up and down, slapping their hands, that's stemming. You see you playing with your like this, stemming. You biting your nails, that's stemming. I'm gonna give you a little fact. Everybody stems. You tapping your pen, that's stemming. Me doing this is, people do this, that's stemming. It's sensory related. Now, I gave y'all a little lesson on that, but a lot of people in the industry who are like who have autism, they do not support ABA. That's why I say I want to respect anybody who don't support ABA, but I'm going to stand firm on what I believe in, and I'm pro ABA. ABA has helped my child. He is listening better. He pays attention. We're working on him like a sitting down, him listening. Those are two goals we're working on because when he gets into school, I need him to have that. I need him to be able to sit down and listen to his teacher and not get up, and he can STEM, but not get up and STEM the whole time. You know,
Hmm.
that's just my, okay. So that is so I got him. I called ABA the next week. It was like not even a week. It was like day 4. I went after his diagnosis, and then I came out about him having autism. This is this. It's time. I better go fast, y'all. on Halloween of 2019, because on Halloween he had a meltdown, and the meltdown, it was, I think it was sensory related. I really don't know because I was still new to autism at that point. He
Right.
was really crying. He was crying. It was terrible. It was the whole day. It was like see a temper tantrum for your child, and what I'm talking about, it looks different. It don't look different with somebody who has autism and somebody who is neurotypical, which is neurotypical, like I told you, means normal. So that's a society standard of normal. So his, I will never forget. I was at the Social Security office applying for SSI, for I can get him on full Medicaid, but we can pay for these services. So, all right, over doing that, he kept like crying. So I had to like, I had a routine. I had his snacks, and I tried to figure all that out. So later that day, it was Halloween. So I took him
Mm-hmm.
to this church, and they had this big thing. It's a big mega church in Atlanta, off us over there by Six Flags, and it was the worst experience for me. I did not care about what everybody was thinking. I just knew that he was not happy. He kept crying, he kept screaming, and it was up and down, and it would last longer than 4 minutes. So at this point, I asked my best friend, "We have to go. I don't care about this candy. I don't know if it's too loud. I don't know if Sometimes people with autism, everybody with autism, they
They
look
can't.
different.
Yeah, they can't, and then they
Everybody
can't
look different."
take loud noises. Correct.
Right. So it was extremely loud. So I said, okay, maybe it's the music. I just didn't know. So
Mm-hmm.
I didn't drive at that time. So my best friend said, hey, we need to go. And she understood. And she's my best friend, so supportive. Shout out. If she watches the interview, shout out to you. You are so supportive.
Shout out to
She,
best friend.
best friend, when we left, and I ended up writing a status on Facebook that night,
Mm-hmm.
not knowing I'm going to be an advocate. Like that wasn't my goal. It
Right.
just it just literally happened, and I didn't even know until recently that I inspire people. People look up to me like this. I love what you're doing. I'm like, oh, thank you guys so much. Like I'm really advocating for my son, but I also want Black people to be more aware, because the number one thing I get is it doesn't look like he has autism. But my question to anybody watching this episode, what does that look like?
What does it look like? A
What
lot
does
of I can say a lot of times people mistake autism for like a Down syndrome, where there's a look to it, right? And there's no look to autism. It's just sometimes they're not audible, they don't speak, or they don't speak as much, or so it's not what it looks like, it's what it sounds like, and
not
and
everybody, because
that's true. That's very true.
everybody's not nonverbal. Like
So where
I
is your
hate
son on the spectrum?
they see. I knew you was gonna ask me that. I was about to say that. I
Mm-hmm.
actually don't like the term high functioning and low
Right.
functioning. I
Okay.
don't actually like that, because what is high functioning? What is low functioning? At the end
Mm,
of the day, they still have autism, and they still struggling somewhere in the areas.
I like it.
That's how I feel.
Got it.
But technically, due to Marcus, when he got diagnosed, Marcus in Atlanta, they say he's high functioning, but I don't know. I don't agree with that. But my son is non-vocal. I say
Hmm.
non-vocal instead of non-verbal because non-verbs, when they taking you to things, they're like, but he communicates. He
Got it.
communicates you he communicates using the PEC system. He communicates using sign language. Like if I ask
Right.
him, he do this more. Like you want more something, he'll tell me more.
I love that.
So my son, he points to things. He communicates. I say non-vocal. I stopped saying non-verbal last year. I haven't used nonverbal, none this year. But when you read my children's book and my coloring book, you will see that the term nonverbal in there, because that is what is known more than
Correct.
nonvocal.
Correct.
Because nonvocal, right? And nonvocal, I learned that from an ABA therapist. So I'm telling you, I'm very pro ABA. And it was so I was on Clubhouse, and this lady was like, my daughter is nonvocal. And I said, hold up,
Let me ask you a
come
question
back.
real quick because it's doing a little distorted thing. Do you have anything
Mhm.
that's real close to the computer that you're using?
No.
No? Okay. It's doing a little distorted thing, but we're good. We're good. Continue.
Okay, so I was on Clubhouse, and this her name is Joy Johnson,
Okay.
and it was somebody else talking, and they said their daughter was non-vocal, and I said, hold up, what does that mean? And when she described it, and I said, oh, my son is non-vocal too. So then I went to my son ABA therapist, and I said, hey, I learned a new term last week, and I want to know, is my son non-vocal or non-verbal? And she broke it down. So I
So break it down for us. What's the difference between nonverbal and nonvocal?
non-vocal, they communicate, they just don't use their vocals. They communicate using PEC systems, they communicate using sign language, they
Okay.
communicate using a tablet, the communication device. Non-verbal is when your child literally points to things, bring things to you. That is non-verbal, because they're verbally bringing you something, but they're not communicating. Like how my son, I don't even have a pet. I wish I had a pet on the side of me. He'll bring me a pet and it'll say bathroom. Or if he want the tablet, it'll say tablet. He brings me what he wants. So he's communicating.
Right.
He just not using his vocals. You
Correct.
understand?
That
If
makes
I need to
sense.
get deep, if I need to get deeper, I have a post on it. Cause and yeah, I have a post on you guys.
So is
On my
it?
Instagram.
And please tell people what your Instagram is, just in case they want to follow you and follow your journey as well, because you do a
Okay.
lot for um, autism and getting the awareness out there. It's really funny how long it's been out there, and we still have to spread this much awareness. It's really crazy, you know. But okay, so let me ask you this, because I know by doing my research years ago, and when I was really, like you said, you became an advocate. I became an advocate as well. People that know me and that know what I do know that I was really, and still am, because I have loved ones that are autistic and their children. Go ahead.
It was break. I'm doing this because I know we're recording. It was breaking up. It was
It was
like,
working up for you too?
no,
Okay.
not for me, just for you.
For me?
So the part, yes, it was just a little bit. That's why I did this.
Okay. So what I was saying was me being, you know, doing my forums and my podcast like I'm doing with you now, I became an advocate as well for autism, even when I was doing suicide awareness. Because let's be real, I hear it now. Okay. So let's be real. Autistic children get bullied because other children are not uh, educated on what autism is. You know, go
Or
ahead. Mhm.
can I cut you off? Or they're
Yes,
not aware what it looks like. And the reason they're not
yes,
aware because their parents not aware, and it haven't been introduced into their homes. And I'm happy you said that. But that is the reason why I created my coloring book.
yes,
Exactly what you just said, because my fear is, for me, is me taking me putting my son in school and he's getting bullied and I don't know because he's non-vocal.
right,
You see
right.
why I created this beautiful thing, that you can teach your kids about autism. Like you can color with them, learn these words, research it,
And for those that are
and
listening, the coloring book is called Just Like You, correct?
autism. Yes, it's called Just Like You. I have two brands. It called Just Like You Autism Awareness Coloring Book, and then my children book, which will drop June 1st. It may drop a little bit sooner. It's called Just Like You.
One more
They're
time.
they're literally
Say that one more time. The
my
children's book.
coloring book is called my coloring book is called Just Like You Autism Awareness Coloring Book.
Hmm.
And then I have another project, and it's a children's book, and it's called Just Like You. That drops June 1st,
Awesome.
2021. But it may drop a little bit sooner. I'm literally working out the details
Hmm.
of me dropping it sooner. I ask her because it need to be out there. It's I need, and it's so funny because when I posted it, I didn't think people would like really care, but it just you were just like, oh my god. But that's the reason why I really created it, because like you are right. Look, and not even just kids with autism, people with Down syndrome,
Yes.
people with special needs, they get
Yes.
bullied, and it's
Hmm.
because the families are not educating them on it. Like that's why I said, what does autism look like earlier? It doesn't have a look.
Correct.
If you see if you see a kid in a corner and you may think they're socially awkward,
Correct.
maybe, just maybe, they don't know social cues, and that's part of autism. They
Correct.
want friends, but they don't know how to make a friend.
Mm.
So how about you be the change and you teach your kids about it? Then your kid be like, hey, you want to come over here and eat with us? You see how that will make a big impact if that person didn't have autism or special needs. They'll be like, oh,
Correct.
thank you so much. Like, that's very important. It's super important that we as parents and as caregivers, we teach our kids about autism and special needs for they can be better humans.
So let me ask you this, because I
That's
know what another thing that I learned from a great sister of mine who has a beautiful daughter who's autistic, and she's advancing so because she was young, and now she's just an amazing uh, princess. But the thing that I learned from her, my sister, who's an advocate as well for autism, is a lot of times with autistic children, you have to change how you speak to them. So with normal children, you can say, "How was your day?" and they can answer you. But with autistic children, you have to say, "Did you have a good day? Did you have a bad day?" Because they know, okay, you said good, I can answer that. But how was your day? What is, you know what I'm saying? So is that normal for you? Did you have to change how you worded things or verbalize
um
with your son?
I'm gonna say that's a very good question. I'm gonna answer that question the best way that I possibly can.
Okay,
I think autism looks different for everybody.
correct.
I personally believe that no, the spectrum is, let's say it's a spectrum, especially this one. It's millions of pieces to make up this one pen, right? So I feel like autism looks different for everybody.
Mm,
So with me, what has helped me and my son is a routine, me creating a schedule. That is what helped him. Now, this it's funny you asked that question because I'm trying to figure out something right now. I think when I yell at my son, 'cause I'm working on my patience and being a better mom. I feel like I'm a dope mom, but it's like when I keep telling something repetitive over and over and over, like 100 times a day, I'm like, oh my God, Zach, stop. And I yell at him. I think that he emotionally can't handle it. And it's my theory to me and ABA trying to figure it out because when I do that, he has this whole,
meltdown.
and I'm not gonna say episode. It's not gonna say meltdown. It is a meltdown
Yeah.
technically, and I'm trying to figure out how to talk to him like when he's in trouble. I'm like, okay, Zach, why you do this? I
Yes.
give him the exact timeout. I give him the
Yes.
exact timeout. Like I give my best friend kids, they all the same age with my son. They're 4. I give them 4 minute timeout. I give him 20 seconds because he can't sit there a minute. That's too long. So 20
Correct.
seconds is enough for him. So I'm working on how I do things with him in a sense. Um yeah, that's
That
how I
was
can
a
answer that question.
that was another thing that I heard from the mothers, them learning patience, because there are mothers that have multiple kids, but only one of them is autistic. So how they would talk to one child, they can't talk to the child with autism like that. And so I was like, okay, well, so what do you do? Like if they get a timeout, do you just let them do something creative? Like your coloring books. Okay, now you have to sit here and draw me a picture. They wouldn't know that it's timeout, but you'll know that it's giving them a moment to breathe and a moment to, assess what, whatever, calm down just a little bit. But I like that about how you said that you're realizing that yelling isn't working and it's only making whatever's going on in him even worse. Because
And
everybody
he's
don't get that.
4.
Yeah.
And everybody don't get that. And you know
Yeah.
what? I really think that a lot of parents in general, they don't take the time to get to know their kid. And I'm not just kids with autism. I'm talking about in
Period.
general.
That's it.
I picked up on that and I was like, you don't like when I yell at you. So let me try to bring this back in and
Yeah.
figure out when you keep doing something, I keep talking about the same thing. I can figure out a creative way to take something from you or do something with you. Now, when he was younger, like 2, he kept doing something. His punishment was he had to play with toys because he's attached to the tablet. So that was a punishment. And anybody who's a neurotypical parent be like, that's not a punishment.
It is.
No, everybody parent differently, and you can't tell somebody who have a special need kid. That's one thing I hate, how to be a parent, because we
Right.
have to parent our kids in a very different way. Just because your kids are trained on mine is, because it takes longer for them to understand. Oh, I have to go to the bath. I have to go to this big white thing and sit on this thing, and I gotta do this. So that takes longer for me and my son. I can't speak for everybody with autism, but I'm going to say it takes longer. It's a longer process. Um, yeah,
Or not even to call it a
I,
punishment. Call it just cool down time. Because
you know
punishment is
what?
cruel.
You know what? I love
Yeah.
that. I'm going to say
Yeah.
that. I actually don't use the word punishment. That's what's funny, but that's funny. But I go to this place called We Rock the Spectrum. It's for kids on the spectrum. It's a sensory gym. They have this room called the cool down room,
Yeah.
and I was like, I love this. Like when you're upset, you
Yeah.
go to the cool down room. It was so like it was so nice. That's why I say I love that. Oh, I love that.
Yeah. And and one I truly love, because it, again, like you said, it teaches parents how to, because you got to look at it like this: when you're yelling at a child, period, whether they have autism or not, all the child is hearing is a lot of distortion coming out of a person's mouth. They don't hear the words that you're saying. They don't understand the intent behind it. All they hear is a lot of noise. And what does
Right.
noise do when you're not used to it? It bothers your ears. And you instantly feel like, oh my God, please stop. So imagine a child hearing a grown person yelling in their little tiny ears because they're mad, you know? And that's, and when you put yourself in the place of a child, then you're like, okay, I'm doing a little too much. Let me resort
You
to
know
something
what's
else.
funny? Okay, because I'm hold on, I'm trying to like cut my phone down because I don't want nobody to call me. So I'm trying to make sure there's no sound. But you know what's funny? I
Like,
feel that we as parents sometimes we put too much pressure on our kids, and we forget they're kids, but they're also humans, and
that's
we have to
right.
remember that our kids have feelings.
That's
So with
right.
me knowing that my son has feelings and he has autism, I try to understand him. I talk to him, and I try not to, as you said, punish him. I just try to find creative ways to
Hmm.
be like, okay, you in trouble, but we're doing this.
Hmm.
Me taking the tablet from him is his life. So he's like, you took my lifeline. Like,
Hmm.
you just like, I'm mad at you, but no, this is what we're doing. So I feel like when I became an advocate, I had to just restructure my life just a little bit. But I think I'm a great mom because I'm trying to understand my child,
That's
and
right.
I'm not trying to change him.
That's right. So let's talk a little bit about this book
Oh,
that you
we
are
can get into it.
writing. Yes, tell us about it.
Okay.
Just
So
like
I'm
you.
all right. So just like you, that book is I'm okay, so it's so funny. It's so funny. I'm so sorry, y'all. Hold on. I be trying to do like multiple things at like 100 times.
You're good.
Just like you, children book, I am super excited to when it actually launches. Pinch me. I can't believe I'm about to say I'm a children's author.
That's
Like
right.
it is so dope that this book is about to change how people look at autism. Like I made sure I put stemming in there. Like I already said, I'm pro ABA, so I made sure I put that in there. About him taking ABA. I made sure that I put a glossary in there for people can understand what autism is. And not even just understanding it. It breaks down words in a book that I may use that you may not understand what is atypical. So this book is literally designed for you to understand and go on a journey through
Yes.
this my first children book to understand, okay, this is what autism is. Let's walk into this journey. And it's also designed for the parents to read out loud with their kids. Like it's not designed for the kid to read by themselves. The
Mm.
parent has to read the book with the kids. So what I'm doing is literally making the parents read the book.
I love it.
So you cannot buy the book, and this is a weird disclosure. You cannot buy the book and don't read it to your kid.
Yeah,
Yes,
one more
the reason I
time.
say that is because it's work. You cannot buy the book and don't read it to your kid. It is
Okay.
designed for you to read it to your kid. I literally designed the book for parents and families can sit down and create a conversation, create a dialogue about autism. Literally, that's the reason why is I wrote it the way I wrote it. I
Mm.
use the terms I use because I know it's for children. I had to keep dumbing it. I had to dumb it down so much to the point where I'm like, okay, I need the parents to read this to the kid. I can even read a page from my book, so I'm gonna do that for you guys. So give
Let-
me a
and- and
second.
let's not say dumb it down. Let's say make it age appropriate.
Yes, because I'm bad at my words when I say that, but um it's so funny. When I was writing it, I was going to town, and finally, when I kept reading it, I was like, "Wait, is this for kids? I don't think a kid will understand this." So let me go back. So I'm gonna pull up a page. I'm gonna read a
Okay.
page.
You gonna read a page?
I'm gonna read a page. It's on my
Oh,
phone.
I'm excited.
I'm gonna read. Hold on, you guys. I'm gonna show the cover actually. Guys, see the cover?
Oh, that's dope.
And why I like my cover so much
Did you
when my
illustrate that
artist,
yourself?
no, I
Oh,
hired somebody.
okay.
When he finally caught my vision, the first cover
Mhm.
was cute, but I said that doesn't get my vision. When I look at books with black kids on it, I see afros. I don't see braid. I don't see locks. And when he caught what I wanted, it was perfect. But let me read a page. I'm gonna read 2 pages for you guys.
Okay.
Zachariah was a joyful baby boy from birth. He was pure definition of beautiful black baby. With his very curly hair and lovely melanin skin, he also had a bright smile that would light up your day, even if all wasn't going well. Okay, that's the first page. And then the next page talks about diagnosis. And I literally walk you through a journey. It is fishing,
Okay.
even though my
Go ahead. You good.
it is fishing, even though like it's like I'm walking you through a journey. But um I don't know. It's like forgot I lost my train of thought. Like I said, it is fishing, but it's not fishing because it literally is based on my son.
Mm.
But he don't have a teacher named Mrs. Patience. But when I wrote it, I'm happy that I feel like it conveys what I'm trying to convey. And I'm gonna read one more page.
He does have a teacher
I'm,
named
I'm,
Mrs. Patience. It's called Life. That's his Come on now. You see how we. Hmm.
like that. I'm reading one more page from the book, you guys. The little boy mostly communicated using nonverbal cues and pointing gestures. For example, when he was happy, he would jump up and down. He would clap his hands, tap his fingers, or when he's sad, he would have a meltdown. So in that page, I just really describe my child, the way he does. I talk about stemming in the book. I have a glossary in the book as well. I'm trying to get to you guys because it's literally on my phone. But I have a whole glossary terms for it can educate you. It talks about the percentage of how many people on the spectrum. I can tell you that is actually nonverbal or non-vocal as I use. It's actually 40%. Some people would never be able to talk. That's that's shocking because this how my mentality is, and this is how I think when I think about my child. I'm okay. I came to the point in my life. If my son don't talk, I am okay because I'm not giving myself false hope because everybody who's on the spectrum who's nonverbal probably will never talk.
Hmm.
So you have to be if you watching this and you like don't know, just give yourself grace, give yourself time to understand the diagnosis and be your child advocate and be their voice. But if you pick up this book for a family member or the coloring book, know that you're picking up something that is going to educate your family and you about a little bit more about autism. I have more coming. Right. I have more coming. When I say I have more projects coming, the amount of projects I'm working on at one time would be like, is she okay? I'm okay. But you guys, like, I really hope you guys love it. And the name of my brand is called Zachariah World. You can go to www.zachariahworld.com, or you can find me on Instagram at I am Crystal Jordan. And you will see that I drop information about autism. I do research. I do not post things that I don't think is accurate, because
Right.
I know people are following me to learn more about it. So I don't want to post something that is misleading. Um, so I try to be very understanding and try to post things that are relevant and make sure my numbers are adding up. But did you have any more questions for me?
I just want to say, break it up. We good?
Yep, I'm
Okay.
good.
I just want to say that I am super encouraged, empowered, uplifted, and just moved by you and your story. For being, a young mother, a single. I'm assuming young single mother, and it's hard enough to be a single mother, but you are a single mother of an autistic boy, black boy. Come on, we know what's going on in the world today. There was, I believe, a couple of years ago where there was a black autistic boy that was two that was killed.
But I think it's more than that. It's funny. It's funny you say that, because next Monday I'm having a whole episode about first responders
Mm,
and autism. Yes, because I feel that we don't they don't care about black people, but and y'all really don't care about black people with special needs. Let's get into the conversation.
right,
That's a conversation that need to be had. That's a conversation
correct.
that we need to talk about, because I do have a black child, a black son, and not him just being black and him, but him being autistic. It's like, okay, I need to make sure that I am an advocate, and I'm creating this table where I can be the meters and get these bills passed, for they don't kill our black kids who do have autism.
Yes,
That's
yes,
a real conversation that needs to be had. It's unfortunate that we gotta have these conversations, because when a white cop see a black boy, and you may see him running, he may be stimming. You don't
that's
know that.
right.
You don't know. He
That's
may
right.
be unaware of danger, but you don't know that, because you're looking at the black and white. Oh, he black and he runs. Let me shoot him in the back. But that's the real conversation that need to be had.
That's
I
right.
ain't even get that deep.
That's
Not
that we
today.
we can save that for another show because
But
I can definitely
that's a
bring you back.
that's a real thing.
Yeah,
Like, people have to get out the mindset. Oh, he was resisting.
right.
But do he have special needs?
You don't know what's going on
Is he
mentally.
claustrophobic? Is he mentally ill?
Right.
Let's get off autism. Is he mentally ill? What is going
Yes.
on with him mentally? So, but when a white person does it, they don't shoot them in the back. But that's a whole nother
That's a whole
conversation,
nother conversation. That's
because
right.
I would go there. I'm not, when I tell you I'm proud to be pro-black. I'm proud to be a black mom who has a child that's on the spectrum, who's artistic. I have no shame in saying that. And that's another thing I hate about. I'm gonna change that word. That's another thing I dislike about certain people, because they kids are on the spectrum and they don't want to talk about it. When you
Or
don't talk about it,
accept it.
you or accept it. That's
Yes.
right. Or they're in denial. But when you
Yes.
don't talk about it, when you don't accept it, your child is not getting the resources they need. Your
That's right.
child is not getting the early intervention they need to be better and to one day be independent. Like how me and you independent. It's certain things that neurotypical people take for granted, like how we can just get up and drive, or we can go to a loud concert, or we can go grocery shopping. Some people can't do that. How we can
Yeah.
just go to the bathroom. Some neurotypical people, they take things for granted. You can get a job, I can get a job, I can get fired today and I can still get a job. But somebody on the spectrum who's grown can't get a job because they stimming and they can't control themselves. That's another conversation. See, I may
Right.
be autism mom, but I'm not the typical autism mom, because I took the time to educate myself. I took the time to understand, once my son turns 18, the resources stop. I know that. And because I know that, I'm working towards his future now at 4 versus at 18. I'm scrambling, trying to figure things out.
Mhm.
But a lot of us don't think like that, and that is okay. I'm not shaming anybody for not thinking like that. I just am a different breed, I guess. I'm thinking about the future. I'm thinking about, okay, when he turns 16, where we're gonna be in his life. Like,
Right.
yeah.
I love it. I love it. And
Thank you.
I can sit here and talk with you about this all day, but we're gonna save that. We're gonna come back. We're gonna come back and we're gonna do another. We're gonna come back. I'm good now. Okay, we're gonna come back and we're gonna do another episode soon because, like I said, it's not just in April; it's all year long that we need to be spreading this awareness. Talking about this more, finding better resources, finding, you know, not cures because it's not a disease. It's a lifestyle for a lot of people, and there are people that are functioning very well. And if you don't think so, look at the show called The Good Doctor. And
Ah,
I mean, even though it doesn't represent us, but it does represent what's you don't think so? So how about this? How about somebody needs to
I don't,
go ahead
okay, so Good Doctor, I feel like they try to put too much
on
into
it?
one character.
Okay.
Like, he got, like, I don't know. I don't know. I think they try to put too much on that one character. Like, I have not watched On the Spectrum yet. I have not watched I have watched Love on the Spectrum.
Hmm.
That's more accurate. I think they amplify it in Hollywood a little bit. Good Doctor is good, but I don't know
I
about
think what I
y'all.
like about it is it shows that even though he has autism, it doesn't stop him from getting to his goals. You know what I'm saying?
And I do love that because a lot of people look at autism as a disability, and it's
Correct.
not a disability. That's my son in the background. A lot of
I
people
know.
look at it as a
Yes.
disability. It's not a disability.
Correct.
Some is that it's not a disability. It's just they just different. Like, why that's why I call my book Just Like You, because they're just like you. They're just different. Everybody in
That's
this
right.
world is different. You may like
Peppa
pepperoni.
Pig.
No,
Oh,
you may like
the Peppa Pig.
no, you may like um pineapple on your pizza. I
Right.
like pepperoni. Now that's two differences right there.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just like you. I'm still eating the pizza. So once we change our mindset to realize
Mm.
everybody is different, we won't treat people on the spectrum and people who have special needs and Down syndrome different. Once we change our mindset, because it all starts with your mindset.
That's
And
right.
if I'm gonna be honest, if it wasn't for my son having autism, I would not have a brand. I would not be thinking about autism. I would not be learning about it. I would not be advocating for it. I'll be focusing on something else.
That's not that's actually life. That's normal. But because he does, you have gained a voice for him, and now you're just another person spreading the awareness, spreading the information, and you're becoming an entrepreneur in your
Send me
own
right
right.
now.
Yeah,
Right. Yeah, y'all hear the noise. He's excited. That's him being excited. He's really excited. And he's actually stimming as he's making those noises. Let's
that
give
is
her
amazing.
listening.
That is amazing.
He's literally doing now.
Little Zacharias, that's his name.
Yeah,
Little
Zachary. We call
Zacharias.
him Zach.
And that I mean, Zachariah is a good name. It's also a biblical name, and so right,
Biblical.
right. So
Yes.
we know what that is. So, but thank you so much, Crystal Jordan, for being on the POV podcast because this is what it's all about. This podcast is literally about the point of view of the guest or of whatever the topic is. It's the point of view. It's coming from, like you said, autism. Being autistic is different for everybody. Nobody experiences it the exact same way. So you're coming on as a mom of an autistic boy, a young king, and you're coming from your experience. Nobody can't tell you how to experience
Right.
autism. You ain't trying to tell anybody how to
No.
experience autism because you know that this is just what it is for you. And this is how you decided to branch out and share your story. And I love it. And don't stop. I see what you've been doing. You've been
Thank
working. You've been working all month. I've been watching your lives. So And this will be available on
Thank you. I
YouTube.
created a visual photo booth.
You did?
Thank you. I was saying thank you. I didn't see the visual photo booth I created. I created a virtual photo booth.
Yeah. This will be available.
Matter of fact,
go ahead.
It's available now. So whenever you post this episode, I know we're
Right.
recording. Make sure you can put the you can link the bottom. They can even
The IG and everything. Yes. Send that to me.
It's virtual. Like,
okay.
I created that too. So I know recording why I said it.
That is awesome. So this will be on YouTube. You are different. We all are different. This will be on YouTube. This will be on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. This will be on my podcast website, inclusivetalkpodcast.wordpress.com.
Send me everything.
I will send you all of that. Yeah.
But I use Anchor.
And it'll be on Anchor as well. And it'll be on Facebook and all of that kind of. So it'll be everywhere. Okay. This episode will be everywhere. So your message will be out.
Send you all the links.
Please. All right. This has been an episode of the POV. And any last words that you have to say? It's hold on. Let me wait. Is it clear?
Record this. Say that again.
Okay, I say
do that whole thing.
Okay, I say this has been an episode of the POV podcast. And do you have any last words that you want to say? Anything coming up?
So if you don't have time on the spectrum, I have a virtual photo booth. You can go to www.zachariah.com.
.com.
I'm gonna restart that.
Yeah.
So this month is Autism Awareness Month or Autism Acceptance Month. So whatever you support, is it awareness or it's acceptance, you can go to www.zachariah.com. And if you're looking for resources, you can go to www.zachariah.com/resources. And if you want to support me and buy my coloring book or my children's book, you can just go to my website or you can follow me on Instagram. And I'm very sorry about the loudness in the background. It's just my son. He's having a good time right now. He did good for most of the interview.
He's good.
He's just like, I need more.
He's good. So, he's good.
Thank you. But that's pretty much it. And but I'm pretty sure he will share all the links with you guys.
Yes.
But it's ZachariahWorld.com.
Awesome. And until next time, y'all, thank y'all for listening. Thank y'all for watching. And like always, be inclusive.